Welcome to Geopolitics Now. It's Tuesday, September 23rd. I'm Anne-Sophie Gonine. Today we look at Benjamin Netanyahu's threat to annex the occupied West Bank in retaliation for the wave of countries recognizing the State of Palestine. Pierre Haski explains why that's easier said than done.
Benjamin Netanyahu l'a affirmé haut et fort.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has stated loudly and clearly that there will be retaliation. He plans to take targeted measures against the countries that recognize the State of Palestine on Monday, including France, along with political moves designed to make this hypothetical Palestinian state, to which he is fiercely opposed, even more impossible. The most serious measure being considered is the annexation of all or part of the West Bank. This would be a radical shift in the geopolitical situation, since this territory, occupied since the Six-Day War in June 1967, would now be incorporated into the State of Israel, firmly closing the door to a Palestinian state. This, however, is easier said than done. Despite having toyed with the idea for years, the Israeli government has always refrained from crossing the Rubicon. Even today, under pressure and dramatization from the far right wing of the ruling coalition, Netanyahu is still hesitating.
And for what reason?
Le Premier ministre israélien a
The Prime Minister has said he will announce his decision after his meeting with Donald Trump in Washington on Friday. He is waiting for a green light or a veto from the US president. Israel will not move forward without American cover. The reason is well known. The Arab Gulf countries, particularly the United Arab Emirates, which recognized Israel under the Abraham Accords, have warned that annexing the West Bank is a red line for them. They reaffirmed this to the Americans following the Israeli raid against Hamas in Qatar, which shook the region. Trump will meet this week with representatives from all Arab countries and Turkey at the UN General Assembly in New York. These meetings will allow him to gauge whether these nations, especially Gulf states with which he has close business ties, are genuinely opposed to annexation. It will be a test of whether pragmatism keeps the US president from going too far, or ideology drives him to fully back Netanyahu's aggressive move.
What would be the consequences of an annexation?
If international law still holds any weight, annexing the West Bank would be a blatant violation. The territory is occupied under Security Council Resolution 242, which calls for Israel's withdrawal. Yet decades of colonization have ignored this mandate, and annexation would be the next step in that ongoing disregard. The consequences are twofold. First, Israel would face even more sanctions, particularly from Europe. Second, it would suddenly have 3 million Palestinians within its borders instead of in occupied territories, raising urgent questions about their status and bringing the specter of apartheid uncomfortably close. The question of annexation is critical, but it shouldn't distract from the reality already taking shape. These actions aim to block the creation of a Palestinian state and are reinforced by recent settlement plans, including the E1 project, which would split the West Bank in two. How then can the fate of the Palestinian people avoid becoming the world's eternal, unsolvable problem, as French President Emmanuel Macron warned in his UN speech? This is the key challenge for supporters of the two-state solution, who must turn the powerful symbolism of their campaign in New York into action against the harsh reality on the ground.
Geopolitics Now is a WorldCrunch production. Automated speech technology is used for Pierre Haski's English voice. If you like this podcast, we'd really appreciate it if you could help us out with a follow, share, and a 5-star rating on your preferred podcasting platform. For more of the best of the international press delivered exclusively in English, visit us at worldcrunch.com.